Right now, there are seniors driving luxury SUVs that cost $50, $60, $70,000. And those vehicles are quietly working against their bodies. Not because they are cheap, because they were never designed with an aging body in mind. And no one at the dealership told them any of this. Here is what the dealerships do not discuss. Depth perception weakens after 60. Peripheral vision narrows. Joint stiffness makes getting in and out harder, and some mornings much harder. Reaction time slows. These are not opinions. They are documented. Normal parts of aging. And the wrong vehicle makes every single one of those changes worse. Your vehicle is not just a money decision. It is a health decision. It is an independence decision. Today, we are covering 3 luxury SUVs that Consumer Reports recommends for 2026, specifically for drivers who want comfort, safety, and the confidence to stay behind the wheel for as long as possible. These recommendations are built on IIHS safety data, Consumer Reports long-term reliability testing, and input from physical therapists and aging specialists who look at vehicles very differently from any salesperson you have ever met. Stay with me, because the #1 pick on this list earned Consumer Reports' highest endorsement of any luxury midsize SUV they have ever tested. And the specific reason it protects older drivers is something I have never once heard a salesperson bring up. If this kind of honest, no-pressure information is useful to you, hit like right now. It takes 1 second, and it helps more seniors find this before they make the wrong choice. SUV number 3, 2026 Acura MDX. Let's begin with joint flexibility. After 60, hip flexibility decreases, knee strength goes down, balance becomes less predictable, especially first thing in the morning, or after sitting for an extended period. This matters enormously at the moment you enter and exit a vehicle. A seat that sits too low forces you to bend deep at the hip, then push all of your weight through your knees to stand. Do that twice on a grocery run. Do it 5 or 6 times on a day you are driving grandchildren to school and back. By late afternoon, your knees and hips have absorbed hundreds of pounds of unnecessary cumulative load. Physical therapists call this repetitive joint stress. Most people just call it being tired at the end of the day. But that tiredness is not normal fatigue. It is your vehicle asking more from your body than it has any reason to. The 2026 Acura MDX addresses this directly. Seat height sits at a comfortable mid-range, not so low that you are dropping into it, not so high that you are hauling yourself up. You step in, you sit, and you are in a neutral hip and knee position almost immediately. The grab handles are positioned where an occupational therapist would place them, at the exact point of transition, where your body weight is shifting and your balance is most uncertain. That sounds like a small thing. After 6 months of daily use, it does not feel small. The MDX is a 3-row SUV, and for seniors who still regularly drive grandchildren, that capacity matters. But what matters more is the reliability that underpins it. Consumer Reports gives the MDX strong marks built on Honda's engineering foundation, one of the most dependable platforms in the industry. Oil change intervals run longer than older vehicles required, which means fewer service appointments, fewer unexpected bills, and fewer mornings wondering whether the vehicle is going to cooperate. Parts are available at most independent mechanics, not exclusively at a single dealer's service department. For seniors who value not being dependent on one service center, that geographic flexibility is genuine peace of mind. When you test drive the MDX, do this. Get in and out 3 times in a row. Not once, 3 times. The 3rd time is always the honest test. Your body will tell you what your brain has not had time to process yet. Check your mirror sight lines without moving your neck. Reach every dashboard control without leaning forward. Then sit for 5 full minutes before making any judgment. The seat that feels comfortable in minute 1 may tell you something different by minute 5. The independence close for seniors who want to keep driving the people they love without paying for it in their joints every single day. The MDX makes that possible without asking your body to fight it. The MDX is the practical luxury vehicle on this list. Strong reliability, thoughtful entry, built for the senior who is still living a full active life and needs a vehicle that keeps pace without the physical cost. But how you get in is only part of the equation. What the vehicle does to your nervous system once you are inside, over 30, 40, 60 minutes of driving, that is where the next vehicle changes everything. SUV number 2, 2026, Lexus RX 350h. Studies show that chronic noise exposure accelerates cognitive decline in older adults, specifically road noise, the constant low-level roar of wind, road surface, and mechanical vibration. It forces the brain to work harder, simply to filter what matters, the pedestrian stepping off the curb, The warning tone from a safety alert, the turn signal 2 cars ahead. That effort is invisible. You do not feel it accumulating. But after a long drive, you arrive tired in a way that does not feel like physical tiredness. That exhaustion is your brain. It has been working overtime for an hour. For anyone who wears hearing aids, and 1 in 3 adults over 65 has measurable hearing loss, this problem intensifies. Hearing aids amplify everything, including road noise. In a loud cabin, many hearing aid users end up turning their aids down or removing them entirely while driving. That is not a personal choice. That is a noisy vehicle forcing a dangerous one. The 2026 Lexus RX 350h has been Consumer Reports' benchmark for quiet, comfortable luxury cruising for over 2 decades. The cabin noise suppression in this vehicle is not marketing language. It is engineered. Triple-sealed doors, acoustic laminated glass, and sound-dampening materials throughout the floor and ceiling that competitors have spent years trying to replicate. What that means for your brain: it is not fighting background noise for 60 miles. It is free to do what it needs to do. Monitor traffic, respond calmly to alerts, make decisions without competing inputs. The hybrid powertrain is equally significant. The RX 350h accelerates smoothly, without the transmission jolt of a conventional engine. For seniors with neck stiffness, osteoporosis, or any sensitivity to vibration, that smoothness is not a luxury preference, it is a physical one. Less jarring motion per mile means less cumulative strain per year. Consumer Reports' long-term reliability data on the RX Hybrid is among the strongest in the entire luxury segment. That translates directly into fewer repair visits, fewer surprise expenses, and fewer mornings starting with uncertainty. For seniors on a fixed income, predictable ownership costs are not a secondary concern. They are a central one. When you test drive the RX, insist on at least 20 minutes on a highway or a heavily trafficked road, not a dealer parking lot loop. Then sit quietly for 60 seconds after you park. Notice how you feel. Now compare that, honestly, to how you feel after driving your current vehicle the same distance. A quiet cabin is nearly impossible to appreciate inside a showroom. It reveals itself on a real drive, in real conditions. For seniors who want to stop arriving at their destination already spent, already behind, before the day has started, the RX 350h is one of the few vehicles that actively gives energy back instead of quietly taking it. The Lexus RX is the comfort vehicle on this list. 2 decades of proof. Quiet enough for hearing aids, smooth enough for sensitive joints. If your priority is arriving feeling the way you felt when you left home, nothing in this price range has competed with it for long. But Consumer Reports gave their single highest endorsement on this entire list to a different vehicle. One that combines that comfort with something this audience needs just as urgently: the most advanced driver assistance technology in its class. Technology designed to compensate for the one thing no vehicle can reverse: the biology of reaction time. SUV number 1. 2026 BMW X5. Reaction time slows after 60. That is not something to be ashamed of. It is biology. The brain's processing speed, the gap between perceiving a hazard and physically responding to it, lengthens gradually over time. For most people, the change is subtle. But at highway speeds, even a fraction of a second matters in ways that cannot be negotiated with. The question is never whether this happens. It does in every aging driver. The question is whether your vehicle compensates for it. Most vehicles do not adequately. They alert you after the danger is already fully present. By that point, reaction time is the only remaining variable. The right vehicle does something different. It sees the problem before you do. It begins responding before you have finished processing. That gap covered. The 2026 BMW X5 is Consumer Reports' best luxury midsize SUV for 2026. That is not a casual designation. Consumer Reports tests vehicles under conditions most reviewers never apply, and they gave the X5 one of the strongest overall scores they have assigned any luxury SUV in their history of testing. Here is what that means specifically for older drivers. The X5's driver assistance suite, forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane centering, and blind spot monitoring is among the most refined available in any vehicle at any price point. IIHS rates its front crash prevention at the highest tier. Practically, this means the vehicle is already monitoring intersections while you are still processing the scene. It is maintaining your lane position during moments of divided attention. It is alerting you to the vehicle in your blind spot before your shoulder check begins. For any driver whose reaction time has slowed, even modestly, that assistance is not a convenience feature. It is a genuine, measurable safety margin, working quietly on every mile of every drive. The X5 also offers a seat height that physical therapists describe as close to ideal for older adults, neutral hip and knee angle, minimal lateral pivot required for entry and exit, and a door opening wide enough that you are never angling your body through a narrow gap. Reliability at this level matters too. Consumer Reports rates the X5 strong for a European luxury vehicle, and BMW's service network is extensive. Warranty coverage on key systems provides a financial buffer that keeps unexpected costs from becoming independence-threatening ones. On the test drive, specifically request highway time. Engage the lane centering and adaptive cruise control. Let the vehicle hold its lane. Let it manage following distance. Then ask yourself honestly, does this feel like genuine assistance or does it feel intrusive? For most senior drivers, the X5 system registers as a quiet co-pilot, present when the situation demands it, invisible when it does not. For seniors who want the strongest possible safety margin that money can purchase at this level, and the confidence that their vehicle is actively working to protect them, not just passively carrying them, the X5 has earned every recommendation it has received. Here is where each vehicle stands. The Acura MDX is for the senior who is still driving a full life, grandchildren, appointments, daily errands, and needs a vehicle that does not punish their joints for it. The Lexus RX 350h is for the senior whose priority is arriving calm, quiet cabin, smooth hybrid power, 20 years of proven reliability, the vehicle that returns energy instead of consuming it. The BMW X5 is for the senior who wants the strongest possible protection behind the wheel, Consumer Reports' highest endorsement, technology that actively compensates for the biology of aging, built for the driver who refuses to leave anything to chance. If your driving years represent independence, and they do, then the right vehicle is the one that protects them most completely, not just today. For every year you intend to stay on the road. Before you go, one question. Which of these three are you seriously considering right now? Or what are you currently driving? And what was the reason you chose it? Leave that in the comments. I read every one. And if you want to know which mid-size SUVs Consumer Reports recommends for seniors who do not want to spend luxury prices, that video is coming next week. The #1 pick on that list has a safety rating that surprises most people who think they already know the answer. Subscribe so you do not miss it.